I told you about 3 times you won't fuck with me, right? Umbrella. I'ma run it up and up and up. 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 Big brella grinding till I build it up. Shawty poppin' purpose like it's Eminem. Sliding through your city, you gon' live and learn. She gon' let me fuck cause I'm a living legend.
Let's chop it up, fellas. You know my avatar be the GOAT, Esco, Nas himself. But we in the Eminent Studios, man, and we here to talk. We here to talk business, we here to talk boxing, we here to talk fights. Showtime closes its doors, au revoir, man. They say goodbye, 37 years of illustrious coverage of the sport. You know what I mean? Ups and downs, like with anything else, right? I wouldn't say they went out with a bang, but they went out with a decent fight card. So let's start there. You had Andre Berto in with Robert the Ghost Guerrero, throwback fight that these fellas ran it back. The first time Robert Ghost Guerrero won, and he went and did the same thing again. As I was analyzing the fight, looking at the fight, started off pretty decent, and Andre Berto was looking good. He was touching the Ghost, he was beating him to the punch. He was looking solid. But then he ran out of gas. He couldn't take the punches. I think there was at least 2 to 3 times that he went to the ground. And the referee could have easily called some of those a knockdown, and he didn't. He called them a slip every single time, which was very interesting to me. But the judges got it right. There was a lot of fouls, a lot of punches in the back of the head. You know what I mean? That you could tell these guys wanted it. They were fighting hard. You know, both of these guys are legends, man. These guys are good fighters, man. They had their time in the sun. And I guess they made the most of it. But it was an interesting fight. It was a pretty fun fight to watch. But clearly, these guys have nothing to do with the current state of boxing, right? They're not going to be able to challenge for no world title. They're not going to be able to climb the ranks. They're too slow. They're 40 years old plus. It's not going to happen. But I enjoyed it. It was cool. What was it, a pension plan for them? This was a PBC 401k payoff. Must have been. The way I scored it, I had it 93-97 for Robert the Ghost Guerrero. 2 judges had it 1 point difference. They had 98-92, I think, for the Ghost. So I had one more round, just 1 round difference. And then the third judge had it a little bit wider. I guess there was supposed to be Marcus Maidana's fighter was supposed to fight on this card. I'm not sure what happened to him. I don't know why that fight got scrapped. But the co-main was a rematch as well. And this was Valenzuela versus Chris Colbert. And this fight started off the same way the last fight started off. Well, I wouldn't say it started off the way the last fight ended, but it started the same way the first fight started. Colbert coming in dry, getting caught. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he was recovering. He won a couple rounds. I had Colbert win in the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th round. No, sorry, I apologize. The 2nd round. That was it. And then Valenzuela established himself and started piecing him up. Piecing him up, bruh. Like Colbert had no real answers. You know what I mean? There was rounds where he was hanging in there and it looked like he was about to win. But then he got caught up on the ropes. Like always, like any fight that he's had detriment in, he ends up on the ropes and he's unable to defend himself properly. He doesn't have the power to keep the fighters off of him. Hence why he should not be at this weight class. He shouldn't be at 135. But he said he had to get this fight in because they were talking about possibly moving him off until next year. But he said he wanted to see some action. Well, you saw some action, brother. I don't know where he goes from here. I thought he won the first fight. Close fight, but I thought he won the first fight. He outboxed Valenzuela. But in this fight, I was only giving him one round up until he got KO'd in the 6th. Sweeping right hand by Valenzuela, catches Colbert right on the chin. And he's out for the count. Laid up on the ropes. His neck is on the ropes. His corner, right in front of his corner. Right in front of his headbanger trainers, man. It was looking sad, man. It was looking sad. Colbert, I don't know what you're going to do about your misfortune as of late. Got to applaud Valenzuela. He did the gentleman thing. You know what I mean? Colbert was running his mouth and he bet Valenzuela $50,000 that he wasn't going to knock him out. I thought he was betting $50,000 that Valenzuela wasn't going to win the fight. But he was betting that you ain't going to knock me out, bruh. You ain't going to be able to finish me in this fight. 50 grand, what's up? 50 grand, what's up, bruh? He bet it. And what did Valenzuela do? Hey, bruh, we were both in here, men, trying to make it happen. Squash that bet. Did a gentleman thing. Let that bet rest. Colbert said, yo, we're 1-1. So what is he looking for? A rematch? It's not looking too good for Colbert, man, moving forward, man. He's taking some bad losses. He's going to become an opponent moving forward. Somebody to get a good name on your resume type of fighter. Gatekeeper? Can't be a gatekeeper because he ain't never went nowhere in the sport yet. And I'm not shitting on him, I'm just stating facts. Houston, we have a problem. And the problem that we have is David Morrell. David Morrell versus Senna Agbeko in the main event. A lot of trash talking. Senna sold the fight a little bit in the press conference. Physique was looking amazing. He looked like he was in tip-top shape. African warrior. Came into the fight saying he was going to shock the world. He was going to pull it off. He was going to get it done. And it was none of that. David Morrell established himself early. Every shot that Senator Agbeko was able to land on him, he was able to eat with no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, David Morrell is a problem for anyone he faces in 168 pounds. He's able to take a shot. He throws straight shots right down the pipe. He has power in both hands. Southpaw. Moves. Young. Knows how to box. Oh my God. Everyone knows that we want to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez, right? That's the fight to be made in the weight class, right? 168 pounds. Everybody wants to see Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, right? We hear that possibly Canelo's going to fight Jaime Munguia next, and then David would probably be the closeout fight, right? But don't be shocked if Canelo petitions and then stresses that, yo, David need to do more, man. Let him fight Morrell. That's a fight that we don't want to see, man, because at the end of the day, that's a possibility that Morrell might win that fight. And guess what? Canelo is not going to want to fight Morrell because he's going to say he has no experience. That was his 10th fight. 10th fight, 9 fights by knockout. You have all the excuses in the world to not fight this guy. He hasn't done enough. His resume too short. Nobody knows who he is. Now, David Benavidez, on the other hand, everybody knows who David Benavidez is, and everybody knows that's a fight that needs to happen next. But we know there's going to be some swerving going on. We know there's going to be some lane switches as Canelo traverses this 168-pound closeout of his career. And David Benavidez is more likely going to be avoided, or he's going to be the last fight on the contract. I think there's some real talk with that Jaime Munguia fight. Even David Benavidez, he says he'll fight David Morrell. He said he'll fight him, but that ain't his first choice. He wants to fight Jamal Charlo. He wants to get Charlo off the board so Canelo can't have him as a possible opponent in the future, which is a smart move by him, and that's a move that he needs to make. So let's see what happens, man, because ain't nobody want to see David Morrell Jr., bruh. Nobody wants to see this dude, bruh. This dude is looking more and more impressive every time. Nobody wants to fight him. Everyone wants to avoid him and say he doesn't have enough fights. He doesn't have a big enough name, but he's getting promoted properly. He's getting pushed properly. He's starching everybody that they put in front of him, and he's looking more and more impressive. Even in training, when you see videos of him in training, he looks like he's hungry, bro. He's putting the work in. I'm super duper impressed by this fighter, man. These fighters at 168 are cream of the crop. It's a three-headed monster in that division, man. Morrell, Canelo, and David Benavidez. Let's see who's going to be at the top when it's all said and done. And if Canelo fights Jaime Munguia next, that I'm not willing to fight another Mexican, shit is out the window. And that's the only other fight that he can get popping right now, other than Benavidez. That makes sense. We're getting closer to the main event in the UFC. The co-main just wrapped up. Not sure if we're going to talk about the results or anything like that in this video. So we're moving on to the Zone main event. Undercard was very underwhelming. I was kind of glancing at it. You know what I mean? I paid a little bit more attention to the Showtime finale. Last fight in this amazing run. No more HBO, no more Showtime, fellas. Ever since I can remember, ever since I started watching boxing, these two entities have always been in the game. HBO bowed out a few years ago, and now Showtime is no more. Sad. The Zone has been carrying a lot of the weight these last few months. Gotta commend them for what they've been able to, the fights that they've been able to put together. But a lot of that shit is promotion. Sonny Edwards and Bam Rodriguez. They actually promoted that fight pretty well. They had me interested in wanting to see this fight a little bit. Had me paying attention to weight classes I never paid attention to before in the past. 112 pounds, bro. Flyweight. Co-main event. You had people tuning in to see 112-pound fighters in a co-main event on the Zone, bro. Excellent promotion. Excellent promotion to get people interested in something like that. Not an easy feat to pull off, and they've been able to do it. So where does Bam Rodriguez go from here, man? He pretty much dominated Sonny. Sonny had no shot in hell in this fight, man. He scrapped, he threw punches, he fought back, but he had no power, man. No power for Bam. So Jesse Rodriguez moves on. And let's see who he has to look forward to. 112-pound champions. You got Julio Cesar Martinez and Artem Delacane. Never heard of that guy. I don't even know what promotion he's under. I think Julio Cesar Martinez is either with Golden Boy or Matchroom. I'm not sure. So that'll probably be the next fight, right? That will probably be the next fight. So Jesse Rodriguez is now the WBO and the IBF champion as he dethrones Sonny Edwards. Where does Sonny Edwards move on from here? Going back to the UK beltless, as I felt like was gonna happen. Didn't have enough power to keep Bam off him. Bam is a little bit more experienced, fighting tougher challenges here. Let's just call a spade, man. Sonny was on that Euro diet. But I'm going to give it up to him. I'm not going to shoot him down. I'm not going to knock him down. I'm going to give him his props. He came in, he fought. He did his best. He put his belt on the line when he could have swerved. But he wanted that fight. He pushed Eddie to make this fight. And he just came up short, man. Decently short, but he came up short. So, we're not going to kill guys that want to unify and want to challenge themselves to be the best. So, good luck to you, man, and heal up, get better, and let's see what you got moving forward, man. But Jesse Rodriguez is a problem in this weight. Remember, he was a champion at the weight class above, 115. 3 pounds difference, really. 112-pound belt, 115-pound belt. 3 pounds difference. Probably scrap one of them weight classes, man. Be honest with you. So we can have a bigger pool of these guys fighting each other. And we can stop lying to ourselves and making it seem like these dudes are doing such amazing things. Oh, he's undisputed at 112. Oh, he's also undisputed at 115. Let's take a look at these weight classes, man. 108 pounds. Junior flyweight. You move up 4 pounds. You're at flyweight. You move up 3 pounds. You're at super flyweight, junior bantam. You move up 3 more pounds, you're at bantamweight, bruh. You move up another 4 pounds, and you're at super bantam. No wonder why it's so easy for the monster to become undisputed multiple times. And people give him all these props. But bruh, you're not moving up but nothing but a couple pounds. I don't know how I feel about that, man. You know the monster's gonna challenge pretty soon to become 2-time undisputed in the second weight class. And people are going to make a big deal about it. And they're going to want to crown him Fighter of the Year. Let's cut the horse shit, man. He's a dope-ass fighter. No one's taking nothing away from him. I'm betting on him moving forward. Right? The parlay that I laid tonight was Bam Rodriguez to win. Over in the UFC, I think his name is Rakhimov, to win against Wonderboy Thompson. And what was the other one that I had? And David Morrell to beat Agbeko. 3-fight parlay, everything cashed. I ain't no genius, man, but I'm looking at these mismatches, and that was an easy parlay to make. I didn't want to touch the Edwards main event, Edwards versus Covington, because there's going to be a lot of emotion involved. You know what I mean? Covington was disrespecting Edwards, talking about he going to send him to hell to meet his father. His father was killed, Jamaican dude, killed. And he said he's going to send him to hell. So he might come in a little hot-headed. He might be throwing shots wide, and he might get taken down, he might get destroyed. At least that's how my co-host, kind of explained it to me. He's a UFC buff, and he kind of explained it to me like that that's what might happen. So I didn't want to touch that fight, even though I got a little bet with my UFC buddy. That's what it is. We always bet on the main events. But yeah, they're gonna crown him possibly fighter of the year for moving up 4 pounds and fighting another nobody. Someone that we know. The only person he fought that we really knew was Fulton. That was it. Everybody else is nondescript. So I don't know how he wins fighter of the year over Crawford. Crawford, yeah, he only fought once, but he fought Errol Spence. And that was a high-profile fight. That was one of the most anticipated fights in the sport. Even though I do feel that Errol Spence is not the same dude, but we're not going to touch on that right now. And how you going to win fighter of the year over David Benavidez, who beat Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade in the same year? 2 boxers. And he was able to disarm these dudes, dismantle them, stop one, and take the other one to the distance and dominate. You tell me, ladies and gentlemen, who's your fighter of the year as it stands right now? We got one more major card before the year is over in the sport of boxing, and that's going to be the Day of Reckoning card coming up next week, and we're definitely going to dive into that. We're going to soak that one up. We got to do something major for that. I'm probably have to skip work, leave work early, something. I got to figure that out because I didn't book for that. And Wilder's my guy. Wilder's one of my favorite fighters, man. I love Wilder's confidence. I love his audacity. I love his strength, man. I love his passion. I love the way he speaks, man. He's a fucking strong individual. A lot of people want to call him a bum because they say, oh, he's not a great boxer and everything. Imagine if Wilder was fighting at the age of 9. Age of 7, like a lot of these dudes, man. He might be one of the greatest boxers of all time. If you was just to show people some flash and some skills that they say he don't got. Dangerous thing to think about. Very interesting thing to think about. But ladies and gentlemen, as it stands, we're closing out the night. We had a decent night of fights. Can't complain. No more Showtime. We look forward to next year. Where will the PBC land? Is it just going to be Amazon Prime? Or do they have another announcement coming up? They need to have another announcement coming up because that ain't going to be enough. That ain't going to be enough to serve all the fighters that you have on the contract. So let's go. We're wrapping up the end of the year. We're getting close to the end. 2024 is upon us very soon. And let's look forward to another great year of boxing. Let's close this year out strong. Monster Nue fighting Tapales soon on a Tuesday. That's some early morning shit in Japan. So we got that to look forward to. Day of Reckoning fight coming up. Next week you got Virgil Ortiz supposedly is returning next week. Hopefully he doesn't have any more of those rhabdomyosis flare-ups. So he's moving up to 154. Another player at 154. Virgil Ortiz. Interesting. So let's see how it shakes up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Eminent Sports Broadcasting, and we out. Classic, we out. Out, y'all boys.